Hello and welcome to this review of the MyMail WordPress plugin by RevXArts, which is available on the Envato or ThemeForest Code Canyon website. Now, if you want to keep in contact with your customer base, you need an email list. And this plugin allows you to run that email list from your website. This means that you only need to pay the one-off fee for the software, and you have no ongoing monthly charges which you would have with third-party applications. After saying that, I would warn you that this obviously uses resources of the website, and therefore don't think you can hold tens of thousands of newsletters on such a system and have your website working properly. So let's have a look at this system. Now, I've got a multi-site installation here, so I can show you the different settings, but I'm going to go into one that I've set up already. Multi-site installation is one that has multiple versions of sites running on top of one version of WordPress. And you see in this demo one, I've already started sending out a newsletter. So the system works by creating campaigns, and a campaign is a message, an email that you want to send out. And you can actually have a template customized for your logo and things. It's very easy to do, or you can do it on the fly for each version of your newsletter. But the setting up a newsletters screen is very simple. It's like this. So I could have a subject for my email, pre-header is often the same thing or a little bit shorter. It's seen on emails summaries. From name is the username. Well, my username is in the moment demo. The test.com is because we're using a test server here and it's a phantom account. And then we have the newsletter. Now you can see on the right hand side here I've got various little designs. Now I can take any of these designs, and if I just click on them, that layout is then added to my content, and then I can change the information that I want. So we can edit simple text, we can do all the usual highlights, centering, etc, etc. The standard stuff that you'd expect. And we really just edit it like we would a post, except we've got all these clever little bits, these little layouts that have been done for us, which makes life much easier. These read more connections, you can change the wording for the read more, and then you can go and find a link, and you see it's picked up the pages that are already on my site as links, so I can link to those, or I can link to normal things. Like other websites, etc. Even if I want to change the logo, see, I can just click on it, I can choose another logo. And if an image is not available, then we can go to the media manager and we can go and find one there, or we can then upload. Let's see if I've got something I can just throw in. Oh, just a more simple logo button. You can add files to the system as well. I don't think I should have added that one because I think that's a master. No, it's alright. I thought it's going to be too big. And I can then insert that into the post. I need to reload this because I've edited some files and added some content, so I can edit that one now. Add that one now. I've put it in there. So we can play around with this and we can add different types of content. So probably that would have been a better place to have used this example, wouldn't it? Really, but there we are. So we build up our content. We can get rid of some of these, or we can leave them. We can spam and copyright, we'll come to in a minute, but you can see it's a code word rather than the content. And that allows us to build our newsletter. And when we're happy that we've got it right, we can actually send it for a spam score. I can't because I'm simulating and I can't actually get out to the great wide world. I can send myself a test copy. I'll just save a draft. And I can also view it via the permalink, which is so people can view it online. Well, I can view it online as well. So there it is. And you can see the web version, the unsubscribe, update my profile links are all automatically added. So it is nice and easy. There's the unsubscribe link again there, and there's our copyright message. So it's all nice and easy to use. Now we can send it out straight away, or we can select a date and a time that we want it to go out. So that's all pretty good, and we don't have to be at the machine when it's done. It's just done on the timer. And then we can choose who's going to receive it. So we can have our customers, which is a list I've imported, or any other group lists of people. We'll have a look at that in a second. And the last thing I've got here is I've got some ability to change the basic colors of links and background colors and things like that. So I can make things more interesting. Actually, that doesn't make it more interesting at all, does it? There we go. We can play around with those colors as well if we want to. So that's the basic campaign creator. But there's also another version of this which is filled in the same way. You can actually use the same concept as an autoresponder. Now, an autoresponder is a piece of code that is responding to a situation. So we can have it sent so many minutes after. If I activate it, so many minutes after, or hours or days or weeks, somebody has signed up, somebody's unsubscribed. At a specific time we can have it sent out. We can even define hooks, which means that put some code in somewhere, and when a person hits that specific hook, we can send the message out. But the most often it's sent is if somebody's signed up, or they're subscribed, or something's been published, which is the other useful one. So if I publish a post in any category, I haven't got any categories set up, so all I've got is the option for uncategorized. So I could set up a group of people only interested in a special interest, and then this would automatically send them an email when a post is created of that type. They would then get a standard message telling them that there's an email, that there's a post waiting to be read. So it's very neat. The autoresponder, so if we go over here now, I'll just save as a draft. So we go to the left hand side, look, we've got all campaigns, which is a list, new campaign, autoresponders, what we've got here, basically they're the same thing. Then we've got our list of subscribers. Now I've loaded in the demo data, which I borrowed off MyMail's own demo system. So you've got the customer information of all these fictitious people. So we've got who they are, what their status are, user rating, how many messages they've opened and read, and as I've only just set this up, there's not much data there on that. Then we've got the forms, so we can define a form that people can then put their details in to join the list. and we can have multiple forms with different designs, and those different designs can actually relate to different lists, so we can have multiple lists. So that means we can create another list about a particular subject. So we could say create a list just for MyMail, people interested in MyMail, and then we could create a form, and then have that form just for MyMail. Okay, so they're going to put their information in there. Subscribe to MyMail News is the button. If they successfully put their details in, this green section here will appear. If they get it wrong, this red section will appear. We've got lots of other customizations, but that's good enough to start with. And the only other thing you need to do now is attach it to the list. So I can have users decide which they're going to list, which list they're going to join, or I can force them just to join the MyMail list. So there we are. Just save that, bottom right hand corner. Now if you're using opt-ins, which I suggest you do, this down here at the bottom is the message, which you can customize again, which is sent to the people for them to confirm with a link, so that you only get confirmed people to join your list, and when you've finished joining they can be sent to a specific page or link if you really want them to. And also another nice thing about this system is you can resend a confirmation a certain number of times after a certain delay, so if they miss one you can send another one, say 2 days later. So that's how the forms work with the lists. And then once you have the forms with the lists, when you're creating widget areas, which are these side areas at the side of your screen, you can add these into your sidebar. So we can have a newsletter sign up form. We can choose which one you want, and we can put that on the side of the page. And there's also a latest list as well, so you can do a list of the last 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, however you got 5 in this case, newsletters that have been sent out, so they can see previous newsletters and read those as well if that's applicable. And there's also a number of subscribers list you can put on there as well if you want to. Whoop, missed. Let's try again. And get up to the nearest 100. And then that will appear on the screen. So that's basically how the system works. Setting it up is really pretty easy. You can just work your way through all the questions. So you got who it's from, so your name, the email address it's from, a reply email to it's from. You can set your own template up, which I have. You can set by subscribers time zones on your own. Front end, so we have a newsletter page, which is the page that all the newsletter subscribing things are going to go to. We've got our links for our subscribe and unsubscribe. You can choose which social media you want, so I've just added Twitter, Facebook and Google, so the rest I've turned off. So those are the 3 that are going to be added. Subscribers can get a message sent from the admins can get a subscribing message from the system to tell them when somebody's joined. This allows you to synchronize the users with the WordPress users, so you can keep the 2 together if you need to integrate them, say for membership sites. All your messages you can redefine, which is neat. These are the tags which you can use in your messages, which are then converted to these different phrases, which again is neat and makes life a lot easier. We can limit the delivery values, which is of course useful because you don't want your website just churning through hundreds of emails all the time and not providing messages and content to your visitors, site visitors. So you can use this to slow the system down so it doesn't overload your website. Now I'm using the dummy mailer on this at the moment to simulate sending out, but you actually have standard WordPress abilities. You can set up a specific server, which we have here, or you can send out via Gmail if you wish. Although Gmail is more difficult nowadays because Gmail likes people to be authorized, and this doesn't allow that level of authorization. The cron is something you might have a problem with, the system not sending out regularly enough, and if so, you can actually change the way that works, but that's something to talk to your host about if you have problems. Capabilities you shouldn't really need to touch, but this means that different users logged in, your admin, your author, contributor, subscriber, which sections of MyMail can they get access to. Bouncing is very neat. What bouncing does is, if an email fails to get to a user because they are permanently not available, in other words, the mail server says this person is not available, maybe their mailbox is full, maybe they're just been deleted, maybe it's a completely wrong email address, the bounce email gets a message back to say the email's failed. Setting up a bounce email account with MyMail means that the bounce system will send a message into an inbox, and MyMail can read that email account and can automatically update customers for you as failed. Authentication is to do with sender authentication for your emails. I won't go into that. That's really for another day. Purchase code is where we put our purchase code. I won't show you that page. You don't need to touch these unless you're having great problems, or system info if you're having great problems because it's a support system. So there we are, and if we go back to newsletter or campaigns, I think we'll find that the system, here we are, is slowly but surely chugging through the people. So you see we've got 11,000 to send out. 97 out of 198 have been opened so far. 28 people have clicked through. 2 people have left the list. 2 people have failed for bounce, so they're no longer available. And we can look at those statistics in a bit more detail here. There is also a plugin that you can use which gives you a link to Google Analytics, which is useful. Now, some of the extra plugins for this are paid for and some are free, and the Google Analytics one, if I remember correctly, is free. We'll show you that in a second, but here we can see a bit more detail. So if I click on these details buttons, I can pull down a bit more detail. Here's the people and they've clicked through, so you can see. So I want to look at just the clicks. Just get rid of these. Missed. Okay, so it's just going to show me the clicks. I can look at just the bounces. So I can check those email addresses. Maybe I got them wrong. We've got the number of clicks, where people have clicked through. So we put links to these pages on the email, and these people, we've got 8 clicks through from our LinkedIn link, from our Apple link, etc. Okay, and if you look down on here, you can actually see there's little bars here which shows the percentage of links to the various places. So we've got good statistics about what's been going on. And this of course is useful as well because it shows us which type of device has read the email as well. And it's quite interesting to look at this early when you've just sent something, and then a few hours later, because you'll notice of course that most mobile people will tend to pick up the email earlier than the people that have to go back to their desk, unless they're in an office environment, in which case they should see it almost immediately. So there's one other thing I'd like to talk about, and that is the lists. Now, these 11,000 subscribers I didn't type in by hand because fortunately there's a nice import and export feature. So if we go down to manage subscribers, you see we can create a list here, and if I'm just going to pause the video a second while I pull up the spreadsheet to show you how it works. Actually, I need to pull it up. So this is a comma delimited file which I've just pulled up in the wrong way, which is not very good. So what you should do is you should let's not save it and do it again. That's why I should have prepared it earlier. Okay, it's delimited. Next, it's comma separated. Next, finish. That's it. Right, so I've created 3 columns of first name, last name and email as a comma separated file. And I can now take that file, if I can find it again. It should be that one. I can drag it onto there. It'll now be checked. I want email. Oh, this is the big one. This is the 11,000 list. I pulled that wrong one. But same idea though. So it's recognised that that's the email. Ignore that column because it's a code number. That's obviously the first name. That's obviously the last name. And which list do we want to import it to? What status are we going to have them imported as? Are we going to overwrite, skip or merge? Skip means if they're in, don't put them in again. Overwrite obviously means overwrite. Merge means add the two together. User sign up date if not defined as, and that'll be today's date. And it does a lot of processing, so if you're on a shared environment you might want to click the low memory usage and then you just click import, which I won't do because I don't want to import another 11,000 names. You can also export, so you can output a list as well. It comes out as comma separated format or as HTML. Comma separated is what you're going to use most. So we've got a way to import and export the lists from this system to other systems. So that's it. Apart from, let's see if we've got an email from the system yet. No. No, so let's get one of those for you as the last thing to show you. Well, in fact, unfortunately, I can't show you. So you'll just have to take my word for it. And it appears, it looks something like that, except it will be the view that we saw. So it will be that will be what the email looks like. But as I'm running a test, I can't create a real email out of the system for you. So there we are, the MyMail system. If you want to have a look at the templates, there are more templates available. So if we go to templates, this is where you can use or edit. It's just HTML code, so it's very like a web page, the emails. So you can edit the content or have somebody do it for you. Or you can go and purchase other designs from the same system. And this is where I purchased, I think Letterpress was the one I purchased. Yes, Letterpress. So I purchased the Letterpress template and I use that. Add-ons. We were going to talk about add-ons. I knew there was something else I wanted to show you for you. So these are some of the add-ons we can have to add extra functionality. That's very popular. That allows you live tracking of what's going on. So as your email goes out, you can see that. I've used the layered pop-ups, so you can have pop-ups on your website promoting the email lists. So that's like an opt-in, a pop-up opt-in form. Other things that do well is gravity forms. If you want a more complicated form, gravity form, see more reviews on that. You can actually add the functionality so they can join the MyMail email list in the gravity form. If you want other ways, more efficient ways of sending out your emails, you can use Amazon's MyMail, Mandrill, SendGrid, which we used a lot, and that means that you're using a third-party service to send out the emails instead of using your web host. If you've got larger lists, that's a much more efficient way of sending them out, and although they will be charged for those services, it is considerably less than you'd be charged for a full email marketing service. Google Analytics is the other one I use, and Google Analytics is free, so you can install that and activate it straight away. And we are using the dummy mailer here at the moment just to test the system. And also, if you want to use SMTP connection, which again I think I've configured on mine here, again you can add that. So if you've got a separate server for sending out emails, you can use that. I'm very much somebody who likes sending out my marketing emails from the same domain name, the same email addresses I use for normal communication, so that customers don't really notice the difference between the two, because they should be seamless anyhow. So that really is it. We've had nearly half an hour about this, so I think it's about time I wrap this up. Wondering how my training on this product is going to be any longer, but we'll be recording that the next day or so, so you should be able to see that side by side with this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your patience, and if you use MyMail, I hope you enjoy it, and certainly you should consider it when you're getting an email list program. Thank you. Lastly, of course, don't forget to subscribe so you keep up to date with other messages and reviews. Thank you.
For more info, visit wpbusinessclub.com. WP Business Club. We mean business.